I was really big in pushing on helping creatives evolve from, order taker to problem solver, right? Because a lot of us in the creative space are order takers to our clients, but as soon as we're perceived as problem solvers, at that point we can charge a lot more.
I think a lot of us in this community have that bug. We caught it, and like you said, we're always looking to evolve our skills, evolve into what space should we try to discover what space we should live in and where we can provide the most value. And what's great about yourself, Aaron, is that throughout your sort of path, we have a podcast called Path to Glory. So your path to glory sounds to me like you've been through different types of business models. Now you're in the software space now, but you did the agency thing a while back, and plenty of our audience right here, right now, are currently involved in building an agency model, or they have a agency business that's currently that they're working on now. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think people could really find, specifically in building authority around an agency business model. I think we'll start with that because that was your first business, and then we'll move on to the other ones afterwards.
I think that's a good question, because early on you were you were talking about why it's important to build authority and build a brand, and the reason I think I was able to successfully build and sell and relinquish my agencies is because although people were buying into the company that I had built, the agency themselves, they really wanted to work with me. And there was this thing where it's like, it didn't matter what brand or flag I was waving. They wanted the opportunity to collaborate with me on a project. And so, when I spoke out in London for that event, it was a couple of years ago, I believe, we were talking about, I was really big in pushing on helping creatives evolve from, order taker to problem solver, right? Because a lot of us in the creative space are order takers to our clients, but as soon as we're perceived as problem solvers, at that point we can charge a lot more. We can position ourselves as more of a consultant or as a fiduciary, as I like to call it, to our clients. So, I always told my clients, listen, my job is to look out for your financial best interests. Like, I want to help you build a brand. I want to help you achieve your goals. But if that means you need to use somebody else, then it's my fiduciary responsibility to acknowledge that and refer you to somebody else. At the end of the day, I just want to be helpful to people. But I also know that for me to really be engaged with somebody, I don't do one-off projects. I'm not going to sell them a website, deliver it to them and say, hey, good luck. I hope that works well for you. I need to be aligned with them. So a lot of what I was helping agencies do is implement retainer models to sell much larger engagements. The last talk I did at Phoenix Design Week for AIGA out here in Arizona, I talked about selling your first six-figure engagement. And a lot of the creatives in that room are like, whoa, never even would have thought about, what it would take to sell, a ticket size of 100,000 plus. But I broke it down to them, and I explained that this isn't something that people pay all up front. This is something that's paid over time in a retainer model. $8,000, $10,000 a month in a retainer. If you package it properly, there's your six-figure engagement. You can forecast into the future. You can budget accordingly. You can build your team around that. And being really strict on what's your minimum level of engagement. Like, listen, I don't work, if it's doesn't fit within these parameters, I'll refer you to somebody else. And at least I'm still helping them, right? So I love the agency model. I love the consulting model even better than being necessarily like a technician. I like doing the problem solving. I like doing the creative thinking, the strategy. And my ideal client for consulting is somebody who has a marketing team, somebody who has an execution team. And if they don't, that's one of the services that I offer is I help them build that. I help them hire the right people. I train them. I give them the procedures and the protocols on what it takes to implement the strategy that we talked about during our session to help them achieve their goals. So I think that if you really want to be successful in the agency space, you have to be multifaceted. You can't just be a good designer and a good technician and expect yourself to make a really good, fulfilling living. You have to learn about business development, business architecture, You have to learn about different models. You have to be able to create competitive audits between their competitors. You have to be very, very good at helping them identify who their personas are, who their target audience is. And that comes from experience. It comes from strategy. It comes from training. It comes from knowledge. I mean, it's more than just the technical skills. And I feel like, the people who go to school and learn the technical skills, that's fantastic. You're a great designer. But what you really need to learn is the business side of things. Why are we doing what we're doing? The context is to the design, right? Like there needs to be context to it. And that's why, I consider myself a communicator, because we communicate visually, we communicate written, we communicate, auditory. Like there's a lot of forms of communication, and to create a really solid brand experience, each one of those touch points need to be very intentional.
Absolutely. Yeah, a couple of things that you said. I mean, just to kind of break it down for our audience, one of the important things is, like you said, you need to be faceted, have overlap into the other departments or the other expertise. That's really how a business today, I think the business of the modern day business needs to thrive with that collaboration effort, right? Which you nailed on the head. And the second thing is service, communication, onboarding. I think if you're trying to build a brand around your agency, no doubt the level of your service, the quality of your communication with those clientele, and the onboarding, like you said, just the hand holdingness and just providing as much value as possible. If they, like you said, not just signing off the project, because I think a lot of people in the service space have that mindset. The client, they have this mindset where when every engagement with the client is maybe more defensive or offensive, it's not empathetic. It's not like, I want to provide as much value as possible. No, I want to just give you what is written as our service requirement. That's what we offer, and that's all we're going to offer, and you pay for that, and we'll give you that, right?
Yeah.
And don't come to me with these other abstract things that you want from me, because I'm not going to help you with that. I do this, right? Which I'm a complete disagreement on that. And I think sometimes in the creative space you might find that people operate on kind of a defensive mechanism more than providing value. It's around the idea of, sure, you get clients that take advantage of the empathetic nurture, but I don't think you should change that.